What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Catacombs. So, we got a story today. I think I'm a couple of days late. Um, but Miss Richardson, Sakari Richardson, let me say her name correctly, was arrested at the airport in Washington for a domestic violence offense. It's the airport. I could have sworn that there's felony offenses that follow that type of thing done at an airport, you know. But let's go through this real quick. Let's read it real quick. Damn, she's strong. Okay, reigning 100-meter world champion Sha'Carri Richardson was arrested last weekend for allegedly assaulting her boyfriend at the Seattle Tacoma International Airport. She was arrested Sunday on a fourth-degree domestic violence offense. What's the difference between the first, second, third, and fourth degree? I'm assuming one is like, more violent, I guess. I gotta look that up. Domestic violence offense, according to a police report obtained by the Associated Press. On Thursday, she ran in the opening round of women's 100-meter of the U.S. Track and Field Championship in Eugene, Oregon. She has an automatic whatever. I don't need to know all of that. What is? She's 25. Okay. What's going on? Finally, the police report said an officer at the airport was notified by a transportation security administration supervisor of a disturbance between Richardson and her boyfriend at the airport. Now let that sink in for a second. You can't have the decency to hold, to have a decent conversation at a public place such as an airport that's full of security, by the way. It's full of security, so that tells me she just didn't give a damn. It's crazy that how some women can really they're so used to not being held accountable that they never take into account where they're at and how they behave, and the kind of consequences that come for behaving the wrong way in the wrong place. It's astonishing. The officer reviewed camera footage and observed Richardson reaching out with her left arm and grabbing Coleman's backpack and yanking it away. Yep, sounds about right. Richardson then appeared to get in Coleman's way, with Coleman trying to step around her. Coleman was shoved into a wall. Now, I want y'all to think about this for a second. How often do we hear people say, "Well, if you're the man, you need to just walk away"? Dr. Phil said something about if you're walking and she's walking behind you, then you walk faster. If she starts running, then you start running. I mean, come on. At what point do you get to at what point do you get to stand your ground and defend yourself, regardless of the person's size difference or gender? At what point? This man was in an international airport. I'm pretty sure he knew the consequences, which is the main reason why he was trying to get around it. And she had to have known that there was cameras in that place. Again, she didn't care. Women don't care about consequences. You had to know there's cameras in there. You know that there's security around, and yet you still behave the way you behave in such a public place. It's crazy. And she says she shoved him into a wall. Now, let's not get it twisted. This is an Olympic runner. She's an athlete. She's training constantly. So she's not weak by any stretch of the imagination. Now, compared to a trained male athlete, then yeah, she would be weaker. But at the end of the goddamn day, she's still a trained athlete, and you tugging and yanking and God forbid raising your hand on people. It ain't gonna be no picnic when it connects. Anyway, continuing. The report later said Richard appeared to throw an item at Coleman. What item? What the hell is she? Wow. Which the TSA indicated may have been headphones. Okay. In the police report, the officer said, "I was told Coleman did not want to participate any further in the investigation and declined to be a victim." Now, you see, this is how men, go about things. This is how men, this is how men typically handle the situation. I would encourage most men from going forward, especially going into the future, I would encourage you to start pressing charges on these women. Start pressing charges on their ass, because it's getting out of hand. They really do not care, or they just don't they don't care. Yeah, that's the right word. They don't care about consequences because they don't believe they'll ever get any consequences. And because we men always drop the charges, or we don't complain, we don't call the police on them, we always end up justiceless, you know. And the more we let go of the BS that these women are, bringing to our doorstep, the more we let go of it, the more they become emboldened to keep going and going and doing it to somebody else. This shit has to stop. So I encourage men to start calling the police. Call what's this? Seattle, Washington. Call Washington State's finest on their asses every time they wanna step out of line. If you in Texas, call Texas and finest, DC finest, New York's finest. You better call all the badges you possibly can to your aid and put these goddamn women in jail. They need to be in jail. They need to be held accountable for putting their hands on people. This is ridiculous. She's on camera. I can't wait to show y'all some of the other stuff, some of these clips. People are actually asking the question, what did he do to deserve it? Type of shit. It's crazy. Anyway, moving on. Richardson won the 100 meter at the 2023 World Trade. Why do they keep talking about her accolades? I mean, what the hell happened to this person? So that's it? That's all? Wow. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this woman right here, man. She just couldn't. And you see how much. You see this? She knows damn well if he really wanted to, he could have went to work on her. But see, that's the thing. They know that men exercise restraint against them, so they use that against us. They use our restraint against us. And they also know the fact that all of the laws that have been written to police men and men's emotions and men's physical strength. Like I always say, all of the power and weapons that a man has at his disposal to defend himself or to mount an offensive strike against someone else is all governed by the law, governed by government entities. So if you use any of those weapons against anybody, especially women, you're going to be, arrested, held accountable, put in prison, all kind of things. But women who's, they have weapons too, but not just any physical weapons. They have the verbal weapons. They get to use every weapon under their disposal with very little to almost no repercussions, no consequences, and it's kind of no repercussions. It's kind of ridiculous. They get away with damn near murder for the most part. The only time I've seen women really be held accountable is when children are involved. But if it's a man and a woman type of situation, the man is almost universally panned as the perpetrator. Let's get into some of these clips. Now this right here is from the THPP network. Got Corey Holcomb talking this thing. I like these guys. These guys always have some really good commentary about, and they always have a good collection of clips to watch. Let's go and back this up a little bit. All right, let's start with this right here. I don't want to start all the way at the beginning because, right around here, but let me just play it.
What could he have done to cause this, or she needs to get away from him because he is going to cause her to lose her.
Oh, you see that? You see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. How people are asking the question, what did he do, and how he's going to be a downfall to her future. Like, really? When she's the one caught on camera as the perpetrator, she is the antagonist. She's put her hands on him, yanking him side to side, but yet it's somehow his fault. You see what I'm saying? Now, if it was the other way around, nobody would be asking the question, what did she do? And, he needs to get away from her. She's going to ruin his career. It would have been the same conversation where he needs to go down. He needs to lose all of his, his job and his endorsements and all this other nonsense. I mean, it's absolutely insane. For the same things, women are judged entirely differently than men are. It's crazy.
Tell her keep her hands to herself. One day,
Exactly.
defend yourself, as the guy said in the last clip, now the situation is reversed. I can't believe you hit me. I can't believe you did this. Now she's calling the police. And sometimes you have women who instigate things just so they can call the police on you. Just so they can have you in a bad situation.
See that right there with O'Shea. That was an O'Shea Du Jackson clip. He's right. You know, there's definitely a lot of women out there that actually go out of their way to cause the trouble, cause the drama, and then call the police just so the police can come just to rile that man up. And that's almost never taken into account. There are women out there that really deliberately start shit just to get you to react and then cry victim. You know, it's almost we're getting to a point now where you have to, like, it's getting to a point now where we really do need to be separate from women because these women are really out of pocket. And when I mean separate, I'm talking about, like, you know, so they can have separate rooms. We can't really interact with each other like the Muslim way. You know, women over here, men over here. That might actually have to make a comeback in Western society, keeping women separate because they are getting way too comfortable. And the sad thing is that it's a lot of black women that are doing this crap. We know white women do it. We know white women do it. But given the history of black people within the United States, you would think that black women would be a little bit more cautious with using the white man's judicial system. You know, you would think they would be a lot more cautious, but they're not. They're actually using it to their advantage so they can maintain some level of power. It's absolutely incredible. It's actually ridiculous, and you know, I hope that it stops. But I can hope it, but don't mean it's gonna happen. But yeah, I think I'm actually. Let's play a couple more clips. Corey Holcomb has something to say.
To get him arrested in the airport. And the only reason she didn't get him arrested because when you're in the airport, everything's under surveillance. So when the police looked at what happened, they arrested her. This thing here is something that I see too often where you try and get the male that's with you in trouble with the authorities because you know most of the time you have leverage over the male when you say something's wrong.
Hate them damn ads. But anyway, he's absolutely right. You know, they use this as leverage. They use this as yeah, man. They use it as leverage. They use it as a weapon. You know, they know damn well what's about to happen, and it's ridiculous, and it's more egregious because it's coming from black women to black men, and she's famous. You know, thank God it happened at an airport, like Corey just said, and like I said earlier, but she forgot there was cameras. She forgot she was in an airport. She forgot there was security all over the place. It's a goddamn airport. You gonna pull this crap? You couldn't wait until you got home. You couldn't wait until you was in a more private setting before you had a conversation that might have pissed you off, but you waited until you was public. And that's another thing too when it comes to black women. Y'all seem to thrive off of embarrassing the hell out of your man. It's like y'all wait until there's more that the most people around possible, and then you engage in the bullshit, engage in the fuckery. It's crazy. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that there, man. I don't want this video to go too much longer than what it already is. Plus, on top of that, I'm getting ads on this damn ad on this YouTube page. But anyway, until the next one, man. I think I'm let's yeah, this is crazy. Anyway, until the next one, y'all be easy.